They have been arming and transporting rebels.
Conditions continue to worsen for civilians as the violence spirals. At least 200,000 people have been displaced, particularly from Abidjan, according to the United Nations. More than 360 people have also died since November. It's a toll that's bound to rise even higher if the current political crisis continues. Mohamed Ado, AlJazeera, Abidjan.
They flew into Libya in the dead of the night, but a secret mission by British special forces to meet the rebels ended in embarrassment. Details coming up. And as Mexico continues to battle drug-related violence, many are looking towards spirituality for comfort.
As a slight chill spreads across Melbourne, we'll find a way to perk you up.
Hello, welcome to another look at the international forecast. It's been a little overcast here in Qatar recently. You can see the cloud, it's sinking its way further southwards, so brighter skies coming back in behind, and yeah, it's going to warm up as well. Temperatures at around 27 Celsius for Doha and also for Riyadh. Similar values there for Abu Dhabi as well, maybe a touch warmer. Wetter weather further north, though. We have got some rain affecting Kuwait, affecting Iraq. That will make its way a little further eastwards as we go on through the next couple of days. And look at this southerly wind, picking the temperatures up by Wednesday to around 29 degrees here in Doha, 31 by that stage for Riyadh, so a touch warmer here. It'll be 31 degrees too for Karachi. Still a few wintry flurries on Tuesday afternoon over the higher ground just around Kashmir, but for much of India it's dry, warm, it's sunny too. Good cricket weather there for Sri Lanka, Colombo, with a top temperature of around 32 degrees. Plenty of sunshine too into South Africa, maybe the odd shower over towards the east, but some very wet weather, a chance of flooding into Madagascar, particularly into northern parts of Madagascar, northern areas of Mozambique, and heavy showers there. Seasonal rains stretching their way across a good part of southern Africa, right the way into Angola. Seasonal rains continue across the Amazon basin, the risk of further flooding, but brighter and warmer for Buenos Aires.
Qatar Airways, world's 5-star airline.
The army has to prove they have no intentions of hijacking power and of keeping any remnants of the old regime.
From people making the news.
The earthquake happened over a year ago. Now you want to come back and help your fellow Haitians?
To those it affects.
If Washington doesn't begin to help stabilize the government, it will create a backlash.
Behind the headlines.
Neither the United States nor China can hurt the other without hurting itself.
Is the inside story at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back, updating the situation in Libya. Anti-Gaddafi forces are calling for international help with their fight against the government. In the west, close to the capital Tripoli, they've lost control of Zawiya, and they've lost the advantage in other key cities. Where airstrikes are taking place, the Gaddafi loyal Air Force are frequently missing their target. Here in Ras Lanuf, where the rebels held their ground on Monday, 2 missiles seem to be aimed towards the desert. And Al Jazeera has learned that British citizens released by Libyan rebels on Sunday were captured after an exchange of gunfire. 8 British nationals, including a diplomat and members of the special forces, were captured soon after they landed in eastern Libya. The incident has been a big embarrassment for the British government. Al Jazeera's Alan Fisher has more on the fallout in London.
Arriving back in Malta, the failed British Special Forces mission to Libya. In the UK Parliament, the Foreign Minister said it was all a misunderstanding.
Last week, I authorised the dispatch of a small British diplomatic team to eastern Libya in uncertain circumstances which we judge required their protection, to build on these initial contacts and to assess the scope for closer diplomatic dialogue. I pay tribute to that team. They were withdrawn yesterday after a serious misunderstanding about their role, leading to their temporary detention.
A helicopter carrying 6 Special Forces soldiers, an officer from the MI6 intelligence service, a spy by another name, and 1 diplomat landed in Salouche, several kilometres from Benghazi. With guns, explosives and fake passports in their bags, they were quickly detained by locals.
8 people were arrested, and it turned out that they carried British passports. The reason that they were arrested is that they entered the country illegally and without permission, authorisation or prior arrangement with the Libyan authorities. Libya is an independent nation. Therefore, our sovereignty and our borders should be respected by everybody.
The UK's ambassador to Libya, currently in London, then had to call rebel leaders to explain what was going on, a conversation which surfaced on Libyan state TV.
We try to interfere, saying those people are coming to helping us.
Yes,
Yes.
Their idea is that they're a group who are just coming to find out where our mission will stay and how they will operate to do the logistics, and then we will send the officials in consultation with you next week.
I think the intentions are perfectly fair. What they're trying to achieve is fine, but of course it is an embarrassment in the way it portrayed itself, first of all, to the rebels in the east, and secondly, actually, to the government in the west. We sort of lose face on both sides.
This is a huge embarrassment for the British government. Special forces are highly regarded, but this is one incident that won't get a great write-up in their history. It's also a propaganda victory for Colonel Gaddafi and the Libyan government. He's been saying for a while that there are foreign influences among the protesters, that old colonial powers are desperate to get involved. Now he has something concrete to back that up. Alan Fisher, Al Jazeera, outside the Libyan embassy in London.
Yemen's opposition coalition is vowing to ramp up protests against President Ali Abdullah Saleh after he rejected a plan for him to step down in 2011. Meanwhile, there have been riots in the capital Sanaa's main prison. Hashim Al-Barra is in Sanaa for us.
Violence broke out when inmates started chanting anti-government slogans, asking President Ali Abdullah Saleh to step aside. At that moment, security forces fired tear gas canisters, gunshots were heard. We were told by an inmate that many prisoners were injured. However, authorities remain tight-lipped, saying that this has nothing to do with the political situation in Yemen. However, security has been beefed up outside the prison, which is one of the largest incarceration facilities in Yemen. This comes against the backdrop of increased tension here in the capital and also across the country. The opposition is putting more pressure on President Ali Abdullah Saleh to stand down this year. President Saleh still maintains his position that he is willing to resign in 2013 when his term comes to an end, and that before that deadline he won't respond to the demands of the opposition, and that the only thing he can offer is a national dialogue to try to work out a roadmap for a peaceful and stable future of Yemen, something which has been rejected by the opposition.
A corruption trial involving former French President Jacques Chirac may be referred to the country's highest court. Chirac is accused of putting ghost workers on the payroll when he was mayor of Paris. He didn't attend the opening day on Monday, but his lawyers argue that part of the investigation may be unconstitutional.